That kind of has me thinking about like Drake. He's like a big fish in a small.
Drake.
Dizzy. But I'm pretty sure you're getting the same nutritional qualities from an egg.
Yo, don't ask me.
Like, I'm pretty sure that's what.
You better say yeah.
No.
Name of people notch.
What's good, everybody? Back here with another episode of Maybe It Gets Better podcast. And it's your boy Sima, your boy BlckkStar, your boy Delux, and we got a special guest. What's your name? Tell the people your name.
Oh, my name is Shara. It's nice to be
Hey,
here.
let's clap up for Sarah.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. So, tell the people about yourself.
Okay, I grew up in Toronto here. My parents are immigrants, and I have two brothers. Right now, I'm just chilling in school, trying to figure out life, career.
Oh, what are you in school for?
I am doing a second career in IT. I'm doing systems administrator right now.
Word.
Yeah. It's been really interesting, difficult. I did a lot of self-studying. So then I decided just going back to school just to get the credentials.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like kind of a whole different ball game.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you do IT too,
Yeah, I do
right?
IT work
yeah,
too.
That's cool.
I got an IT internship, and then I was working at City Hall for a bit, and it was really cool. But seeing how they work on things like in the city, I don't know. You get like a lot of free time, but then sometimes you don't at all. So it's just that sector of cybersecurity. It's just
Yeah.
really like random, you know.
Yeah, because it's kind of like a lot of it is just defense, right? Until you have something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what you're trying to do? Like
Yeah, cybersecurity.
Yeah,
That's
that's
my
also
goal.
what I'm pretty interested in too, like cloud security.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, just try to build my way up there.
Yeah. So, how's everybody's week going? Let's start with that.
Let's start with I guess actually. How's your week?
Yeah, ladies first.
My week has been a lot of changes, just like changes in my part-time job, school again, like studying for quizzes and doing exams, assignments. But yeah, honestly, really chill. Not much going on. Yeah.
Jeez.
I wanted to ask, since you guys both are in IT and tech's a big thing, and the newest iPhone just came out, how do you guys feel about the newest iOS software that just came out?
iOS 18.
Yeah.
I like the look for most of it because a few things that we have, you could change your apps to look all black and themed, or whatever color that you want. There's some other special features here. We have one, you could do a currency exchange on your calculator.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah,
lit.
that's
Yeah.
neat. Yeah.
I'm always on Google checking
Yeah.
that, especially when I want to travel somewhere.
But I don't think it's that necessary since we go on Google.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how accurate is it
Convenience.
though? Because even when for me, when I use Google Translator for certain things,
Yeah.
it's not as accurate. Not Google Translator, sorry, Apple Translator. It's not as
Yeah.
accurate, right? So how accurate would you say it
Wait,
is?
Apple Translator as in
Yeah,
Siri
you can-
or the actual translator?
No, the actual translator.
I never use it.
I didn't even know there was it.
No, there's actually, because you guys need to be updated on these things, but they have it, and you can literally hold it and then it gives you the option to translate a word, but it's not the best. So that's what I'm I wonder how accurate the currency change is gonna be, right?
Same. Wait, who are you spitting some French game to?
Hey,
That's what I want to know.
hey,
Is it French, Spanish? What are you doing?
Hey, I'm international, so I do international business meetings.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I gotta talk to people from different countries. Mind your business.
Okay, so you could also do math notes, which I believe is similar with the iPads. Math notes. You could do Wi-Fi QR codes instead of just trying to find the password all over your crib. Just share the QR code, pass it to your friend.
That's convenient.
Yeah.
What else?
Yo, do you see that one video of that person Siri? Siri can change her accent now, right? So there's this one video of this guy. He's like, "Yo, Siri, top pot tour," and then she was literally having a whole conversation with him.
Was it good?
It was hilarious.
No, I didn't see that video.
It
Wow.
had like the accent, everything.
Yeah.
I never see that video. Jeez.
Yeah, it's a little whitewash, you know what I'm saying? But
Do you feel like they're doing like especially with tech? I feel like they're trying to keep up with current iPhone, but then apparently Android's been doing all these things for years. Apparently,
Yeah.
But like I think like again, people are gonna see what they see. If like
Yeah.
people don't like Android, they don't use Android.
Yeah.
They're gonna take all those like quote unquote features that have been done for like the past decade, bring it to iPhone, and you'll be like, wow, I never experienced. And then obviously the Android people are like, yo, that's been out.
yeah.
Apple's just trying to be bougie, be like, yeah, we don't really need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they come up with it, be like, we've been had this idea. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like more mainstream, right? Like most people have Apple products, but I don't know. I've even myself have Apple products, but pretty sure Android's better.
So you're with the entire Apple community. Like you have the phone, the Mac, the
Okay, not the Mac, but like
you have the Apple Watch.
No. I don't know if I'm gonna get that deep, to be honest. Because when you're with Apple, everything has to be Apple. Like that's the
Yeah.
only way it works the best. All the updates, like
Yeah.
you can transfer your data like the best. But
headphones
yeah, I don't
too.
know.
That's how they get you. Like they want you to buy all their products. So like
Yeah, that's what
it's
they're
so-
doing with like the chargers and everything. Oh
Yeah,
my
they changed
God.
from the USB because then you could still use a USB like charger, but it's not charging as fast, right? You'll be
Yeah.
like, why is my phone still on 10%? I just put it in for like an hour.
You have to be careful
Yeah.
which type of USB-C you get because some are just for data and then some are for actual power charging.
Wow, I didn't know that.
It's weird.
Yeah, I didn't know that for real too. The more you know.
Some other things that come with, I'm gonna just shoot them off. You can schedule your messages. Dangerous. Customize your control center. Customize your apps. Password on certain apps. Lock your messages.
I heard you can use Face ID. Is that's part of it?
Yeah, that's how you're locking it. And then, in case you want to, just like set different battery percentage limits. Just a bunch of extra
Okay,
stuff.
the gizmos.
But yeah, that's iOS 18.
Wow. Okay.
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
So I have a question for all you guys. Sorry for
Yeah.
interrupting you, but I just noticed something recently. Everybody's in Toronto. Like a lot of the big streamers
Yeah.
are in Toronto. Why do you think that is? Like Aiden Ross is here.
Oh, yeah.
Sneeko.
I
Even
saw
Shaq.
Shaq. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
here.
Shaq's
was
here
here.
too.
Shaq is just walking around trying to be inconspicuous and then see
Yeah.
if people notice him.
Yeah.
He's humongous. I don't know where he's going.
I don't know. I feel like Toronto is now getting that like international look. I mean, it's always been getting that international look, but like streamers, for example, like I feel like I don't know what was the context. Someone told me they ran Aiden Ross out of like LA or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like I think because the cost of living or something with the taxes or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I
then
mean-
it's cheaper to kind of live here.
Yeah, if you're American and like you're making a lot of money, like our dollar is shit right now, right?
Yeah.
So it's like coming here getting the same quality of life, even probably better with you
Yeah.
know, health insurance and stuff. It makes the most sense that like, you know, stay in Toronto for a period of time or
Yeah.
just experience it. But nah, there has to be a reason why all of them are in here because like
There's
bro,
something going. I feel like October's coming. There's also that. Me personally, I don't know if there's any events coming in other than Halloween
Yeah,
and stuff
not
like that.
really.
But
Well, Nuit Blanche is like this weekend too.
yeah.
Wait, what's that?
It's
Blanche,
like
you never heard of that?
You don't
it's
never heard
like
of
a
Nuit?
overnight art show.
Oh,
And it's
And it's
all
free.
and yeah, it's free. It's like all around the city, Scarborough, downtown, North York. Yeah. And
going
it's
to
really
that.
nice, yeah.
and it's
We should
and it's
vlog
like
that.
from I think what was it 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Yes,
kind of
and
thing?
yeah, and like
Straight all
usually
night.
like the TTC is like free all night. And yeah, when I was like
big
in high
drivers
school,
over here, we don't do that.
yeah. Okay, well, because when I was in high school, I'm not gonna lie, like me and my friends, we used to get kind of drunk and we would like run around and see all the things,
Yeah.
and then yeah. But I haven't been in a few years, but yeah, every year it's a different art installations throughout the city, and it's really cool. You should definitely check it out. Yeah,
Definitely.
I don't know if that's the reason, but I do think like Toronto's getting more buzz like as the years go on, especially like, you know, Toronto summers are like pretty unmatched. Like a lot of people talk about them. Yeah, maybe there's just more stuff happening.
Was your Toronto summer sick this year? How was your summer?
Yeah, it was fun. I worked a lot, but although I did have a lot of fun, I just felt like it wasn't like the most nourishing like the activities I did weren't like really nourishing to my soul. Like I just went to a lot of parties, but I really wish I like, connected with nature more this summer. That sounds like
Like
kinda-
going like hill climbs or
yeah, like hikes, biking, swimming. Yeah, just like being really active. I think because I was out at parties a lot this summer, I really felt like I outgrew it. And even now, I'm kind of like, well, there's only a few more days of nice weather, and I really wish
Yeah.
that I spent more time outside.
But it's debatable if we're getting a crazy winter this year, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't really
Yeah.
know.
I don't know. I feel like every year we kind of do this kind of like, oh, what is the winter gonna do? Like sometimes
Yeah.
it's mid, sometimes it's like crazy. But I feel like the winters lately have just been like weren't as bad as they were a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just say prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
We didn't have snow last year, did we?
We had a
Really?
bit, quite a
Yeah.
bit.
We
I
had
had
a
a
lot of rain.
snowblower. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like near the ending of like winter.
Yeah.
It's not-
I always, when it comes to winter and people that are new here, they're like, oh, I thought it was really bad. I just want to bring up that one year, what was like 2014 or 2016, where we had pure ice.
Ice
Yeah,
storm.
the
Yeah.
It was
ice
beautiful,
storm was
though.
That was bad.
crazy.
Did you say it was beautiful?
yeah. It
I
was
mean, it looks
like-
beautiful.
Come out,
It looks
trap
good.
minutes out there,
It
that
looks
shit
beautiful.
Hey,
But
listen.
it did so much damage to the city.
Yeah.
Oh my
We
goodness.
had blackouts like everywhere.
Yo, it was so bad.
Like visually it looked beautiful,
Yeah.
but like I've never been a fan of white death. That's what I call snow. White
Facts.
death. Yeah.
And it's all slushy over here. But let's talk about our main question. How is your mental health doing?
Yeah. I'll start with the guess.
My mental health. I think, it's up and down. Currently it's great. Yeah. I just came off of like a really tough time in school, and yeah, like what I mentioned earlier, changing my part-time job. So it's been a little bit off, just kind of thinking about what I want to do next career-wise, and am I doing the right thing? Like all these questions that I have.
You have a bit of imposter syndrome?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like, kind of studying a new field.
Yeah.
So yeah, imposter syndrome
That's what the tech
all the
field
way.
will do to you all the time.
Yeah. And then, having parents, like immigrant parents, like they want you to do good, and it's all like love for sure. But there's like an aspect of wanting to make them proud, and, every little thing that you're doing, they don't really see. So it can be like there is pressure. But yeah, recently, I have really good friends around me. Even my brothers, like, they talk to me a lot, so they've been like kind of boosting my spirits lately. So yeah,
Yeah, that's nice.
I've been
That's
doing
good.
better. Thanks for asking.
Have you always been like a studious person?
Yeah, actually, yes. There was, a couple years in high school, I was skipping class a lot, but outside of that, I've always been pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
But going back to school when you're, I'm 27 now, going back to school, it is a bit more difficult, especially because now you have to work.
Yeah.
You have to
focus
pay your
on
own
the rest of
bills
your
and
life.
things like that. So,
Yeah.
I also feel like you don't have as much energy to do what you used to, because it's like when you're younger, like you have all this energy to like go to class, work. But now it's like as you get older, it's just like, yeah, I'm not, like also mentally, not even just physically. Like
Yeah.
mentally, you just don't feel like.
Because you're strained because like so many years have been going of you like doing the same thing. Like
Yeah.
if you're going to school and school again and again, it feels kind of repetitive at some
Yeah.
point. And that repetition just makes your mental feel like you're draining more.
But I have a question for you guys. What's worse? Like going to school for a long period of time, or going to school taking a break for like maybe 2 years and then like going back to school? Like what do you think is worse?
What was the first option?
So like going to let's say you go to school for like 5 years, or like
Oh,
let's-
just going
in this
straight
case,
out,
let's say like out, like let's say you went to school, graduated high school, and then you went to school like
I know
college.
for
Yeah.
law students, you have to go to uni, you have to go to whatever school you're going to, and then go to your specific law school.
Yeah.
For the next like 4 years. Let's say you're
Yeah.
doing 4 years of uni, then the next 4 years.
Yeah. That's
So
true.
yeah, essentially my question is like
Consecutive or breaks?
yes.
For me, I would say like I've seen ups and downs in both. For myself, I did the consecutive route because as soon as I finished high school, I went into university. After I finished university, I was thinking of going to law school, but then COVID happened, and I actually wanted to take a break from that. So then the 2 years that I got, I was just like doing some like grassroots work and community work. I still was thinking about whether I was like ready or not for law school. But at the same time, I was able to get a scholarship during that like year in COVID-ish. And then I was able to then go do my, you could say it's equivalent to a master's. It's like psychotherapy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a 5-year program, and it really dives deep into like the whole practice and knowledge. For me, I don't feel burnt out because with the schooling that I'm doing, it's not really like heavy on like books and everything. Yes, you need books and then you read it, but it's not heavy on an assignments. The assignments is basically you doing the emotional work, which is, to me is harder. I think doing the emotional work is harder than like reading a book. Because for me, I could read the book, I could find synopsis, I could write an assignment, you give me a question, I'll answer. But if you look in the mirror and you're like, yo, what is something I need to work on? That's a harder question to ask. Because you actually have to think about it, and you got to look back and be like, yo, like, was this an encounter that like maybe I overreacted, underreacted? Maybe I just froze in the moment. That's hard to think about.
Yeah,
That's interesting that you say that, because I feel like as people, like, we go through life, and like, I think for me, like, I try to be as self-aware as possible. So like, if I do something, I try to like think about how I can improve it. But like, now as you say that, I'm like, okay, not every individual does that, right? They don't like, they do something and they don't think twice of it. So it isn't for some people easy to like reflect on their actions and like really do the internal work.
It's not necessarily their process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
or
even, go. What were you
Oh, I was gonna say, like, it can even be hard to admit it to yourself.
That's
you
the
know,
hard
like,
part right there.
If you made a mistake or whatever it is, or if you could have done something better.
What's your process? If you're going through something super stressful, like mind-breaking almost.
I cry a lot. I cry a lot. I was actually talking to my friends about this just yesterday because we were talking about going to a rage room, and everyone's upset right now. And I was like, I don't think I can break stuff. Like I've never like gotten to the point where like I really want to break something. But if I was really upset, I just cry. I cry a lot, and honestly, I process my emotions. Maybe it's not the healthiest, like internally. Like I just kind of like have an internal dialogue for a long time.
Okay.
And if I'm really, really comfortable with someone, I might talk about it. But
She's arguing in her head.
Yeah.
She's fighting her demons in there.
Yeah. I don't know. But it takes me a lot to like, I have to process it myself before I can tell someone else. Same, like, because like also just admitting like maybe if I did something wrong, or like you have to be vulnerable to tell somebody how you actually feel, and I don't feel comfortable doing that all the time. So if I can do that with myself, then I can express it to somebody else.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah.
I actually I spoke with someone about this recently, and the insight that they gave me about this is like, if you have, let's say you go through a lot in your life, and it's like consistently one issue after another, and it all happens basically at once. When you're trying to dig deep and figure it out, like you don't know where to start. So when you're talking about your what do you call it? Psychotherapy. Like you don't know which one to choose to break down and then figure out how to move on to the next. You were just like lost in the sauce basically. And that is very tough for mental health. How would you go about advice for someone like that?
The biggest thing is to kind of understand your process. When I realized, I was like, okay, I'm a more logical person. Sometimes for me, it's kind of like hard for me to get in my body, for example. Like for me, like the emotional piece was like, okay, like maybe when I was younger, the emotional side wasn't something that I could rely on. Okay, if I got emotional and stuff like that, my problem's still there. So I had to kind of like turn on the analytical, logical side to then be like, you know what, like my problems require solutions. So I had to work through my problems. If I had a money problem, let's just say that, okay, I had to look at like the cost of things, and I had to look at the hours I had to work for these things, and boom, if I had to work an overnight or a day job or like 3 jobs or whatever it may be, that was a solution to my problems most of the time. Sometimes, but I feel like with what I know now is that actually builds up more problems in the later run because you're not really addressing like, oh, why did I get sad in this moment? Or how did this experience make me feel internally, like body wise? Like, was I like too much in my head and not too much in my body? Because then if this situation ever occurs again, I don't think I've ever had. I don't think I've healed or resolved it really. I just moved past it.
What if you're already such a self-aware person
Yeah.
and you're basically like an empath, and like you still feel like you have this amount of weight? And sorry, I know we're getting off topic.
No,
from
I
the
think it's
original
good. I
question,
think it's
but,
good. Yeah.
Like,
Cook.
yeah, like how would you even push yourself through? So even if you have trauma or something.
The biggest thing with trauma is like I love this quote. It's like what you reveal is what you heal, kind of thing. So if there's trauma and other things that you haven't like worked on or like even like sought therapy, therapy is good. It depends on what you. The thing with people, people don't understand about therapy is like finding a therapist is the most important key. But some people think that like, oh, if I have a bad therapist or someone that I don't mess with, that I'm like stuck with it. The number one rule in therapy is that you're allowed to move on. But it's actually easier for people to stay in that relationship because it's harder to be like, you know what, like I don't think things are working out. You know what I mean? Like, when you boil down to it, it's like, okay, if I know that this therapist, and there's no knock to them as a person, right? Like as a person, they're probably great, right? But as therapy, it's like your lived experience kind of thing. If you're like a BIPOC person and you go through all these things in life, you're gonna want someone that like goes through these similar things without you having to explain yourself. Because if you have to explain yourself, it's like, damn, like what did I like? I'm just here to like repeat the same things over and over again, right? Yeah. There's that emotional connection piece that's not really there, right? So in therapy and the things that I'm working with is you got to find someone that you could truly work with, right? In a professional way to challenge yourself is another thing as well. It's like, can you accept someone giving you like advice, console, whatever it may be, and not feel offended by it? Right? Like if I say, for example, if I'm working with a client or whatever, and I say like, okay, you know what, like, have you ever tried looking into how another person feels when you do this to them? Like, oh no, I don't want to think about that. Like we're talking about me, right? Yeah. But if you're in a situation with another person, you got to look at it. And I'm giving you a little like cheat code for therapy a little bit, but there's a SOS model, and it's boiled down to the most simplest things. It's yourself, other, and situation. All three. You got to be holistic with it. You can't stay in one part versus the other part. You got to really dive deep into like how I'm feeling, how the other person's feeling, and what the situation's arising. So an example is like, let's say that I'm in like youth violence prevention, right? Like, let's say someone yells at me, right? Yeah. Happens all the time. Someone yells at me, and I have many ways to react to it. Anyone gets yelled at, they probably have their way of reacting, right? The common one is that if someone yells at you, I'm going to yell at them back, right? Yeah. I don't care how that other person's feeling. I don't even care how I'm feeling, right? You yell at me, I'm going to yell at you back.
It's
right?
more so a reaction than like a thought.
Exactly. It's a reaction, but you now ignored all three in that sense. You don't care how you felt. Actually, no, I think you're in yourself more because it's a reaction, right? Okay. Yeah, you're like, oh, this person disrespected me. I don't care how they feel. I don't care about this. I might be in a library. I don't care if I'm in a library. I'm gonna yell at them, right? Yeah. So you actually stuck more into yourself than anything else. So like, and obviously you're like probably gonna get heated. You're still gonna be mad. It's like, why does this make me mad still? Because you haven't really thought about what that person said to you, right? If you dive deeper into like, okay, maybe they insulted my like my worth ethic, right? You could be like, wait, this guy says I don't work. I work. Like I work. So for me, why do I get mad at that, right? Is there something that like maybe I wasn't working in this situation? They caught me and then they bothered me. You're like, wait, what do you mean I'm not working? The 5 minutes that I get to unwind and stuff, you come in, you're trying to press me about I'm not working. It's like I'm just taking 5 minutes to relax. Right? But you might be like, yo, this person doesn't know the 5 hours that I just worked really hard for and I just took like a 10-minute break. They're coming and asking me a question when I'm on a 10-minute break. Right?
It's so funny because it's like you never think about what other people are going through. Yeah. And like I think for me, like a great rule of thumb is don't do something that you wouldn't want done onto you. Like I usually I literally carry that like with everything.
That's why our parents always try to teach us, treat
Yeah.
people the way you want to be treated.
Exactly, right? And like I think for me it's more of a habit at this point in my life than like it's like second nature, right? So I understand that everybody, like if somebody does something bad, like I understand that like we're all human beings at the end of the day. We all have good and bad traits. We all have things that we like and things that we don't like. So I just say treat people good and try to be a little bit more empathetic and also just be more respectful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not easy, you know. Some people are assholes, and
And
gotta put
sometimes
somebody in their
you're going
place.
through too much that you feel like you can't treat anyone good.
Exactly, but
But try your best, yeah. Try your
yeah,
best.
or
Maybe it gets better.
if all else fails, thump them, hit them.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
But see, that's the biggest thing too, because I've seen so many like documentaries, movies, like read a bunch of case notes, lived it myself,
Yeah.
and it's easier said than done, right? Like, say
Yeah.
for example, you're like, "Yo, I've been doing so well."
Like I said,
and
it's a habit. Like
it's a
habits
habit,
are. It takes like what I heard 21 days to develop a habit,
yeah.
right? Like it's not something that's easily achieved. Like you really need to sit down there and be mindful of what you're doing to develop that habit, right? So
Ooh, I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
How for your mental, how do you view yourself? Are you able to see yourself in third person or no?
I feel like we all see ourselves in a very negative light at times.
No, not negative. I mean like
Yeah, like can you see?
when you're-
Are you asking like can you see? Like you can see yourself.
yeah, like
like,
stand
how
if you
you're-
stand up in the middle of a room,
Nah.
can you see yourself?
I know what
in
you're
third person?
saying. Nah.
Like, see yourself in a third person. Like, if I'm reacting this way, can I like see myself reacting this way, kind of thing? Or is it more like?
Is it more
Or is
like
it like
that?
after the fact?
After the fact.
I think yeah, like after the situation is played out, then you play it all in your head and you're like, okay, this is what I did, and this is how
Yeah.
that person reacted.
Yeah. Can you see yourself
For
third
me,
person?
like I can, because I believe myself to be a pretty self-aware person. So even if I'm reactive in a moment, I can see like where I went wrong. And I don't know, I have a very imaginative like mind. So I can almost like picture myself in that very moment. Or I could picture myself like if I'm feeling a type of way, I can see how I'm feeling. Like I don't know how to describe it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's hard to describe. It's more of a feeling and like something that I can imagine and how I process my emotions and how
It's
who
also
I am.
like that one
myself.
question where certain people they either have an inner dialogue or they don't.
Yeah,
Yo, I
It's
heard
like-
50% of people don't have that inner dialogue. Actually.
Yeah.
Really?
that's
Yeah.
actually worth the thing, to be honest.
Yeah,
if you
apparently.
have
That
one.
makes sense.
You have an
So-
inner dialogue saying
Yeah.
how you're
So
arguing
wait.
with yourself.
Yeah.
Can we agree everybody in the room
Who
has
else?
one? Do you have one?
I believe I do.
I definitely do.
Yeah.
I chat shit to myself sometimes.
Yeah. It's like, yo, stop talking.
Exactly.
No, but okay, is it weird though? Because like sometimes I'll be chilling, I'll do something weird. I'll make like a weird sound. I'm like, whoa, that was so weird.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like, oh, who did
like,
that?
what do you you're in your head be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like,
Why would you do
sometimes I'll
that?
catch myself like, what was that?
Yeah.
Or like, I'll even just talk to myself like, you got this, whatever, like affirmations where I feel like that's more socially accepted. But yeah, sometimes I really just be talking to myself.
Oh, I love affirmations. That's one thing that I feel like is always needed because there's this one thing. You guys probably all seen it. How to grow a plant like very healthy. One way that you should try is speak to it. And speak happy, positive things to it. Always nice, and you'll see it like blossom and flourish, and it'll look great. Whereas the other plant, if you talk to it, all negative, say cuss words to it, just bad minding, it'll just start dying.
It's
out,
something about the
diminish.
energy is transferable,
Yeah.
right?
It's actually
Yeah.
like the vibration. Like there's a frequency to like saying positive things. Like even when you speak them, right? You don't say it in like oh, you did so good. Like
Yeah.
you say it in like a happy way, and there's like a frequency that like us as humans, plants, animals, like they can all hear. Like obviously like it's not on a conscious level, but it does help. It helps boost like life and just everything.
That's why
like,
certain
mindset.
people with like a bubbly personality, like they're great to have around
Yeah,
you.
like you just feel good.
Good
Like,
energy.
You just enjoy being
Yeah.
around them. And we're back. All right, so let's switch it up. One question I want to ask you guys. What's better, being a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond?
Yeah.
How would you? What do you think is
Yeah.
better?
I see a lot of heads go.
Okay, I'll answer first. What do I think is better? I think there's like pros and cons to both. I want to say small fish in a big pond just because I think, having peers that are maybe doing something that you want to do or doing something better, it's always good to learn from them. And there's so much knowledge to learn, and just from experiences, from like whatever careers that they're in, and just, they say like, if you want to be whoever you want to be, like surround yourself with people that are already like that, right? So I think to have like be in a big pond just means like you have more opportunities to learn from others, and just like kind of be a part of something bigger too. As for big fish in a little pond, I don't know. I feel like there's pros to it. I can't think of it right now though.
I like that outlook though. What about you, Delux?
I'd probably go for a little fish in a big pond. I feel like you could always grow in that position, right? Like if your environment is big enough to be like, all right, you know what? Like I might not know everything, or a little fish in the sense of size. Then you could be like, okay, like as life goes on, you could probably grow, right? But if you're like, my thing with the other one is that if you're a big fish in a small pond, it's like there's not a lot of room to move. And you're big. You're in a small like space, right? Like if you want to get it philosophical or whatever, but there's not a lot that you could really do, right? There's not probably going to be another big fish in there because you're in a big fish in a small pond. So there's tightness to that, and for me, it's just like then that means you're surrounded by a bunch of little fishes. So unless things get boring for you or like you're happy where you're at, like for me, I get bored. So I rather take the point to be like, all right, you know what, I can move. I take the small fish, big pond as mobility for me. Like I can move around more. I could do a lot more. I could probably grow. Like Sarah said, it was just like there might be things that other people are doing that I'm like, hey, you know what? Like I don't mind trying that, right? So you could kind of like get mentor mentee kind of like join that school of fish in a sense.
Yeah.
How about you, Sima?
I kind of wanted to go with big fish, small pond because I'm a big guy and like I'm so used to being around smaller people. But like all jokes aside, like you guys both had very strong points about just mobility and like, learning and growing and stuff. And like I feel like for me personally, I'm all about just growing consistently because life definitely would be boring if you're stagnant in one place, right? Like if you're like the biggest head honcho, like you get bored. There's nothing. There's like a ceiling. There's nothing above that, right? And
you're at the top of it always.
Exactly, and like it's kind of funny that like this question has been asked because like that kind of has me thinking about like Drake. He's like a big fish in a
Drake.
Dizzy.
Yeah,
Wheelchair
he's up
Jimmy.
there still.
Yeah, he's at the top right now, right? So it's like everybody's consistently trying to push him from the top pedestal,
and bring him down,
right? And just thinking about just being a big fish, like pause, the Jamaicans in the comment section. It's just being the biggest person. There's always gonna be enemies and people that are trying to like knock you out your pivot, trying to take you from that spot. So I don't know. Like I'm more in the between, but I'm probably leaning more towards just the small fish in a big pond because it's just so much more things that you can explore and see and just be influenced by.
Yeah, that's understandable. Like, okay, I don't know too much about the fish or fishes and all that type of stuff.
Literal, like
But like one way that I want to change the question or change my insight about it is like I think about it as small fish, big pond. You get to be part of like a pack. Like you said, school of fish, right? So I always like to think of things like being part of a wolf pack because I would love to be surrounded by people that are always with me. We're always on the same goal-driven mind, and we're always working together like that. like no matter who's the alpha, all that type of stuff, that doesn't necessarily matter. It's about being part of the pack. Whereas, let's say there's a bear. Bears are usually alone. They're loners, and they always have to like stand on 10 toes. They're like
Yeah,
on
stand
business
on
at
business.
all times. Like it's harder being the big fish in a small pond.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say like, not so little, but like big fish in a small pond. Like you could also be like a pioneer. You know, you could be like a leader. You could be showing people the way. But
Yeah.
the thing is, you're gonna be doing it all by yourself. Like so, what
Yeah.
you mentioned about the bear, it would be harder. Like not that it's
That's the cost of
worse.
being the boss.
Well, maybe it is worse, but yeah, but it would be a lot harder. But there's still like a pro, like you know, there are like at one point there had to be big fish, right, to like pave the way for all of us.
Yeah.
For there to even be small fish,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think having the community, having people to lean on and learn from, that's definitely
But at the end of the day, if you look throughout evolution, it's always the small fish that survive.
100
Because the big ones are getting tomped down.
But I feel like with the big fish, and I feel like just in general, like if you're like a person that's in a high position, right? And I've seen this many times, right? And for me, I'm like, I'm very mindful and strategic when I'm in these environments because you might have someone that's like the best of best, right? But the way that they kind of like approach things, you could be like, yo, this person has a weakness right here. Because when you're at the top, it's either your ego that gets in the way or maybe the ability to not work with others, right?
Yeah.
So if you have those two, then it's very tough to like kind of grow, right? Yeah, you could be like a pillar in your thing, but guess what? Every pillar comes down when it needs to come down. So and a pillar is only as strong as the supports around it. So if you're like, at that person, you're like, yo, I'm the best of the best, whatever, and you might be close, you might be the best, you might be the Michael Jordan of your craft, right?
Yeah.
But guess what? Michael Jordan gets old. And guess what? Michael Jordan eventually has people around him that made him better. So if you're around other people and you're not uplifting them, people are gonna like you said about the Wolfpack. People get turned on eventually, right? You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, and that pillar is gonna come down. People are gonna start chipping at it, and that's gonna hurt you. So then that fall is gonna be very, very, very tough for you because that's the fall from grace. And people are not gonna be like willing to help you get back. You're gonna be like, yo, I seen how that guy was at the top. I ain't trying to get that guy.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna answer that. But I
There's-
feel like with the little fish and anything around, you gotta be able to work together.
Yeah. I agree.
hear
There's really no Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen,
100%.
right? So you definitely need a team to achieve that goal that you want for yourself, and just to be a leader, you gotta have a good support system to reach that dream. You know, teamwork makes a dream work, right? So yeah, but let's get into another lighter topic. You know, let's move on to
One
another
more
question.
thing we have. Okay, so why is it called a building if it's already built? Answer that question. Someone, please.
Yeah. I don't know. Like people like even like the English language for me is so funny because there's like words in the dictionary that literally makes no sense.
That's why you're trying to branch out, huh? Use your translator.
Yeah. Full circle moment. But I actually don't know. Like I think that's a very good question because why do people name a building if it's already built?
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be a built, not a building?
This is a high question. I'm not going to go that deep.
Like if scrambled eggs is chicken,
Yeah.
or no, what was the question that we asked? If fried eggs is
Fried chicken or
or
something.
something
Is scrambled
stupid.
egg, does scrambled eggs
It's
count as
it's
fried chicken?
Yeah,
I hated that question.
yeah, I
You say
hated
no?
that question.
Yeah.
You said no?
It's in the frying pan.
But
It's
it's
eggs.
not a chicken.
I mean, it is chicken because it came from a chicken.
But it's not like the embryo is not alive. You know, we could talk about
Yeah, but you're still
like, a
getting
deeper
the,
topic, like how it's similar. It's not.
but you're still getting like the protein from the egg, which you would get from the chicken if it was cooked, like a full grown chicken.
It's all same species.
Yeah, it came from the same person.
Same species, yeah, but it's like it's not a fully developed chicken. It's not even anything.
But I'm pretty sure you're getting the same nutritional qualities from an egg?
Yo, don't ask me.
Like, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
You better say yeah.
Listen,
No.
Do you guys know what an egg is?
Yeah.
It's unborn chicken, right?
Okay.
So it's basically a chicken, period. So when like a chicken, I know that sounds crazy, but when a chicken is like developing its child in the egg, it has all the like minerals and nutrients, same way a woman would like be developing for their child.
Yeah.
But if the embryo doesn't get to a state where it's actually gonna take all that nutrient, it's not a chicken. It's just the minerals and the lining and whatever in an egg.
Okay. I love your answer.
That's a great.
I love that was your. Honestly, we asked this question on another episode and nobody could give an in-depth answer
wish
like
she was
you
there.
did. Yeah, no. Honestly, she would have been a great addition to that question because, like,
Because Ronto needs to be. He needs to be smacked for that one.
yeah. But yeah, that was a great. Do you want to do one more question? Let's do one last question
I
before we
want to
close.
ask something more specific to you, Sarah. What is next for you? What is something specific that you really want to do?
Yeah, what's the next chapter for you?
Are you talking like more short term, long term?
I think you already said some of your points for long term. So how about short term?
Okay, short term. I didn't really think what I'm not prepared for this answer. Short term, I think like I've always like been really into fitness. Recently, I haven't like been really active, so definitely like getting back to the gym, getting back to like, you know, it's winter time now, or it's getting there, and I'm just like trying to hibernate, just focus on like finances, my health and fitness. Just kind of like, I feel like this is the time I'm a little bit more introverted. So yeah, just kind of recentering myself. I feel like I spent a lot of time, you know, helping my friends, which I love to do, and talking and like helping with whatever issues they have, and extending myself to others, which again I love to do.
Yeah.
But I think right now, like my short-term goal is just to recenter myself and just do things that are really nourishing for me and that like make me feel good about myself.
She's gonna be joining the winter arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's
Winter
The winter arc.
That's why you lock down, you focus,
You
and
lock
you
in.
just
I don't feel like
survive the winter.
But yo, thank you for your lovely answer. That has been our episode, everybody. Please like, comment, and subscribe on any questions that we asked that you feel that you have an opinion towards. Your opinions are very considered and loved. So we would appreciate if you guys do that. Yes, we're on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify. 5 stars. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5, 5, 5, 5. Am I forgetting anything else? I already said like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, and that has been our episode. Thank you for coming in.
Where can people find you?
Yeah.
By any chance?
Do you want to be found?
Yeah.
There you go.
Because like my Instagram handles my literal full name. And
We're still
I
showing
don't
it.
think I'm
Yeah.
gonna-
Yo, find her.
I should probably change it.
Drop some likes on her pictures.
Yep.
All
That has been our episode. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.